What's up, party people? Welcome to Oddly News, where we talk about all the cool, fun, nerdy things that you and I both enjoy. And today we're going to talk about all the cool stuff that happened in tech and video games last week. Today, because last week I was a little bit busy, so this is coming out a lot later than I expected, but here we go. Let's run the thing. So, the first thing that we have to talk about today is the first 2022 hardware event that Apple held last week. During this event, they revealed a few new devices and some new technological feats that are just kind of like really cool to think about. So, the first one that they revealed was the new introduction to their M1 series of chips called the M1 Ultra. The M1 Ultra takes two of Apple's M1 Maxes, which was their previous flagship chip, and they combine it into one new system on the chip. This thing is absolutely insane, but with that comes an absolutely insane price point. But before we get into that, let's talk about technological details. The M1 Ultra will support up to 128 gigs of RAM and support 20 CPU cores, 16 for performance and 4 for high efficiency. Along with this, it will support 64 GPU cores, which is absolutely insane. A lot of the benchmarks for the M1 chips, especially the M1 Max, have been insane on their own, and they have been able to accomplish a lot of things that full-on CPU and GPU combinations can do together, but just by itself. And this one alone will be able to outperform the latest CPU and GPU combination while producing less power. And thinking about that all together just means you could do so much more at a time, especially when it comes to video editing, graphic design. If you're making 3D modeling, everything that you're creating will be able to export and reproduce a lot faster than anything that you have previously used before. These new chips will be available on Apple's new Mac Studio, which, as I said before, comes with a very hefty price tag. The entry model for the device comes at $1,999, but that's just with the M1 Max chip. If you are using the M1 Ultra chip on this thing, it's going to cost you a whopping $4,000, and that is out of the reach for most people. But for large businesses and creatives who have that kind of cash, there are going to be a lot of benefits that come with using this device. You'll be able to save so much time on production, and you'll be able to save those man hours and save a ton of money over time just by not having to wait for things to export or waiting to have things render so that you can actually do the work that you need to do on them. But still, not that many people need that, and like I said, it's very expensive. But along with those, Apple also released details of the new iPhone SE and a new iPad Air that comes packed with the first M1 chip that you can find in the MacBook Airs, just that first iteration that came out, which is still, to this day, a very powerful chip. And if you're using a tablet, having that power on the go in such a small device, it's going to be really cool to have just as you're traveling. And as time goes by, the M1 Ultra will probably become a little bit cheaper as they start to produce more iterations of this chip. So it's exciting to see what they're doing with this new technology, and the feat in and of itself is really impressive, even if the price tag is very high. Next up, Sony's highly anticipated State of Play event has come and gone, and with it, not much news. A lot of people were left kind of disappointed about all the things that they announced, and while they didn't show anything like super big and substantial, there were a few gems that were in this show. And mind you, E3 is coming along in just a few months, so they're probably saving all that big news for later. But there were a few things that I was really excited about, including the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles collection, Turtle Power! I'm really excited about that game. I can't wait. But there were also a few other announcements that will definitely get some people very excited. There's JoJo All-Star Battle, which is a new anime fighter that looks super stylish. Trekto Yomi, which caught me by surprise because this black and white samurai IP looks absolutely awesome. But The most disappointing news from this thing is the delay of Forspoken. This is developed by Square Enix, and I was really looking forward to playing it, but it looks like I'm going to have to wait a little bit longer, all the way up until October 2022, so that's disappointing. But it's supposed to improve the quality and performance of the game, so what can I say? I'd rather have a good game than a broken game. It just kind of sucks because it looks so cool. It looks so cool. But the disappointments also don't end there. Microsoft just announced a delay in Halo Infinite's co-op mode, a mode which a lot of people have been looking forward to. Halo, over the years, has come shipped with a co-op mode, and since Halo 3, a Forge mode. If you guys don't know what that is, Forge mode is where you can actually create your own maps and game types and put them out in the community to share them so that everybody can get a touch for all these new creative creations that people made in the Halo games. And for a series that has come shipped with these modes for the past few iterations, a lot of people are thinking, why didn't they postpone it to actually get these out when it was supposed to come out? I, for one, wanted the game as soon as possible. It was cool to get that multiplayer beta version before the story version came out in December. I play a lot of the Halo games by myself first before I jump into co-op, but that's not the case for a lot of people. A good chunk of people play the story from beginning to end when it first comes out with their friends, and I get that, so I can see how this can be very disappointing. And when you stack that along with Season 1's disappointing Battle Pass, a lot of people are wondering about the longevity of Halo. When it's competing against games like Fortnite and Apex, there's a lot you have to do to keep up with all these other guys who are doing it right and have been doing it for longer. They've established a base of people who will continuously come to their games. So if Halo wants to take some of that audience, 343 and Microsoft, you guys are going to have to do a little bit better. I enjoy your game. I enjoy it so much because I've been wanting a good Halo experience for a while, but a lot of people have moved on. You kind of need to do a little bit more to get them back in your bandwagon. And now moving on to all the latest movie and TV news, we recently got a trailer for the new ObiWan series, and I can't tell you how excited I am to finally see this thing. I thought we were going to get it during the Super Bowl. I thought we were going to get it like a month later, and it just kept being postponed and postponed, but finally we got it, and it looks absolutely awesome. The view of the Grand Inquisitor and this new female Sith that just looks absolutely badass, along with a few short scenes of Obi-Wan. A lot of people were mad that they didn't show him too much, but I kind of like that. It's like leaves him a mystery. I want to see all the conflict that's coming at him, and they did that in droves. I know a good chunk of it was set in Tatooine because we saw all our favorite sandy areas, but it looks like they're going to branch out into a new city that we've never seen because there were a few clips of some different set pieces that were just sort of new to Star Wars. And after seeing what they've done with the Mandalorian and Boba Fett on those like combination episodes, it looks like they're starting to branch out into a bunch of different environments that will finally breathe some new life into the Star Wars universe because I am tired of seeing sand and trees. I love Star Wars, but all we are getting sand and trees and ice. Why is one planet just one thing? I'm glad to see that they're finally just fixing that. There was also news that Darth Maul was supposed to be an antagonist in the series, but if you guys remember, the Obi-Wan series was famously on hold indefinitely for extensive rewrites. Apparently, what we're getting now is completely different and a lighter tone than what we were going to get, but I'm really curious to see what that old script looked like because as much as this new trailer that we got looks super awesome and cool, the idea of seeing Darth Maul again, especially with that scene that's in Star Wars Rebels where he encounters Darth Maul right before meeting Ezra, it would have been a cool way to introduce the idea of Ezra to the grand community who missed out on all those who missed out on all those animated series to actually show them who like Ezra is before they start to introduce more ideas about him in the Ahsoka series. But either way, I'm really excited with what we got, and I can't wait to see what they do with this series. And Batman is continuing to dominate the box office. In its second weekend, it scored 66 million, which puts it past the 460 million global box office mark. Which, when you pair that with Spider-Man, these are numbers that haven't seen since pre-pandemic times. But it's exciting to see that movies are doing better again, because there were a lot of cool things that have been coming out, but they haven't been able to get the traction that they needed to actually like keep pushing forward, because people haven't been able to go to the movies comfortably. But as things sort of come back to a new normal, I should say, we're not really normal, but it's a new normal, they're starting to do better. So it's exciting to see that Batman's doing well. I think Robert Pattinson did a good job of being Batman, but I still really want to see like the comic book Batman, the one who could lift like a ton, and the one who could just like leap across buildings, you know, the one who can actually compete on somewhat even grounds with Wonder Woman, Superman, and all the superpowered people. But I like what we got. It was entertaining, and I want to see more. So really glad that they're doing well, because there will definitely be a sequel, because it's a success. But it's too bad that this good news doesn't spread to all the other DC franchises that are on the way. You remember that trailer that WB produced that showcased like The Flash, Aquaman, Black Adam, and Shazam? All those movies have been delayed not even a week after they showed us that trailer. It's actually kind of funny when you think about it. The only thing that was pushed up was the new Shazam movie that's coming out that serves as the sequel to the last one. But it looks like we're going to have to continue to wait for all the other ones. And what's most weird about this is The Flash being delayed, because the last movie that sort of referenced him was out almost like, what, 5 or so years ago. But here we are. DC may be trying to do something cool with their universes to better compete with Marvel, since they haven't really done that, but I don't see what they're doing, so it's just kind of confusing, and we gotta wait. But that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and if you did, remember to leave a like and subscribe, because it really helps the channel. And don't forget to hit that notification bell to stay tuned for all the new episodes that are coming out. And I hope to see you beautiful people next time. I'll catch you later.